Hi, this is Dave with Rainer Garage Doors. I'm the Sectional Product Manager for Rainer Garage Doors. We're coming to you from the Academy today. In this segment of Between the Jams, we want to talk about commercial heavy-duty 3-inch garage doors, how we stack up versus our competitors. Let's look at the end styles first. We all know how critical an end style is in door integrity, especially in a big commercial application. We look at the Rainer end style. Rainer is using a 14 gauge end style. This is going to provide structural integrity throughout the door in each section. Look at some of our others. And what we're looking at here is a 16 gauge end style. With that, you're going to get more movement, deflection, and not as sturdy a section of door. Next thing I want to talk about real quick is the hardware plate. You can't see the hardware plate, it's behind the interior skin. But the hardware plate plays a critical role in joining the sections together. That hardware plate has to accept the load of all the hinges that you bolt through and lock into that hardware plate. What's behind the Rainer door is a 16 gauge hardware plate. And what's behind the competitor's door is an 18 gauge hardware plate, not nearly as heavy and robust as the Rainer. Let's talk about the astragal and the retainer for a moment. On a Rainer door, we use a one-piece extruded aluminum astragal retainer. This provides strength and rigidity to the bottom of the door. It also allows for the astragal itself to slide in and out. It'd be easily changed if anything happens to it. Taking a look at the competitors, we have a one-piece plastic astragal retainer with an integral astragal molded in. This is not nearly as strong as an aluminum extruded retainer. The other problem with this is when this breaks, you have to replace the whole thing, the astragal and the retainer. The other thing in winter is if this freezes and sticks and you open the door, you're going to crack this and it's going to need instant replacement. The Rainer TC300, we use a mechanical interlock where two skins, the inner and outer, are actually interlocked together. And in between them, we have a thermal break. The thermal break will stop the infiltration of air transferring from the outside to the inside metal panel. And additionally, Rainer has an exclusive dual bulb seal. As you can see, when these two come together, we have two bulb seals in there. That's going to stop water and air infiltration from coming from the outside and transferring to the inside. We look at the competitive model. What they're doing is simply a vinyl thermal break. There's no mechanical interlock and no dual bulb seals to keep the air out. One last thing we want to take a brief look at is the finish. On the Rainer door, what you're going to see is a smooth, consistent stucco finish going across the door. Nice commercial look. On some of the competitors, what we have is more of a wood grain finish. And if you look real close, you can see the inconsistencies with lines running up and down and fade going across the wood grain. So the next commercial job you have that requires a heavy-duty door, take all things into account, top to bottom, and then ask yourself, what do you want between your jams?